Okay, do you want to give a clap?
Yeah. Okay, episode 1, re-record, go. Hi.
Hi.
We're here.
Finally.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm Callum.
I'm Sam.
Two queers that love the sound of their own voice that have yet another podcast. We're going to call it It's a Voice Note, Not a Podcast.
Nice. I love
It's
it.
funny.
Yep. It's hilarious. I did have to explain it to a lot of Swedes, though.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah. It's a voice note, not a podcast. Mainly because when my friends send me a voice note, specifically Sophie, she'll know this. The other day she sent me a 5-minute voice note because she's got ADHD. She's a bit scatty, and
Don't we all?
yeah, but like she won't reply for a month, so she's like, "Sod it, I'll just send a voice note." And then she goes, "I'm sorry, I know it's a voice note, not a podcast." And I just think it tickles me.
Do you know what? Yeah, I have actually had to say that to someone recently. So I've been doing a little bit of work with, I cut the music video for Seymour Bottoms, Seymour and the Freaks. He will send me 7 or 8 minute long voice notes.
Yeah.
And I'm just a bit like, girl, I'm on holiday.
Yeah.
I don't know how to, so I left it. And then he sent me a 2-minute one afterwards. And it was only at that point, it was like, so we're going into London and we've got an Airbnb. And apparently there's this security check-in and all this, that, the other. We're not allowed this many people staying here and it's a problem. And do you know anyone who's in the area? And I'm like, he's on the flight now. And I missed it. I left him on read for 2 days.
Oh, no.
So I had to send him a message just going like,
How are things?
Yeah, I was just they're going if it's over 3 minutes, that's a song length.
Well, if it's 3 minutes, that's fine. I can step outside, have a cigarette, ruminate. Mm-hmm. If it's 7 minutes, then I get bored. I start funnying about with stuff.
I know. I'm no longer listening.
I have a TikTok attention span.
Yeah.
You got me for 30 seconds, you know? Yeah. Keep it engaging, keep it snappy.
So we figured out for our first episode, we wanted to talk about gay.
Gay.
G-A-Y. G-A-Y. We're specifically focusing on the G within the LGBTQIA+, because it is where we have our most experience.
Gay.
It is our, someone said this to me the other day. They were saying about, the black experience. And they went, but would you say the gay experience? And part of me sat there and said, it feels like something you charge for.
What is that?
What is the gay experience?
Sarcastic comments and jazz hands.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bitchy comments. Reading everything to shit.
With love.
With love.
Yeah.
Always with love.
If a gay person is nice to you, start worrying. Because then they don't like you.
Oh, no, because I'm nice to everyone.
If a gay person says that you look shit, then you're like, oh, babe, love you too.
Should we start where it begins?
Yeah.
Where it's sort of the situation as it was when we were growing up. 2 millennial gays going through the tail end of Thatcherism and the legacy that provided. And we had very different takes on coming out, very different takes on how we presented ourselves to the world.
Yeah. It's been 84 years.
Back in the dark days.
Yeah, tail end of Thatcherism. I remember Tony Blair.
Oh, yeah, I remember Tony Blair. I remember John Major, but when Thatcher brought in Section 28.
Yeah. That fucked it. My mum told me about that. And I also kind of watched it a lot on It's a Sin.
Yes.
That was powerful shit.
Yeah.
That was really powerful shit.
That was really powerful.
Yeah. But I am 31, so I was born in 92. I came out quite early, but it wasn't because it was a safe space and it was okay for me to do so. It was more we're going to use the word faggot.
A lot. Just to warn you.
I'm comfortable with using it, and I'm sorry if you aren't. But I got called a faggot a lot. In my own home, at school, everywhere.
That's not okay.
Since I remember being called a faggot in the age of 8. My stepdad would call me gay lord, and I would answer to it,
Yeah.
So, and yeah, bunch of other shit. But I came out at 14. Ming was like, well, you're going to call me a faggot anyway. So I'm just going to be a faggot.
Yeah.
And kind of got less shit for it.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing is, if you, we're doing that thing where we own the word. It is our word. It is things that we can use.
Yeah.
It's, if close friends say it to us, that is also a little bit you're on the edge, but you know what? You're kind of okay with it. There's certain people where I'd sit there and go, you know what? That was funny. So
yeah.
I can fully let it slide. there are people out there who use it in a negative context, and
Oh,
there
yeah.
are people out there who you sit there and go like, you do not have the right to use that word.
No, of course not.
No.
Like my friend, Bryony said it to me once, to me and Rika. She's like, you faggots. And then she just looked. Like,
I love it. She's not like panicked.
yeah. It's okay.
Is that okay?
Rika was just like, what the fuck?
It was like, is it okay? I'm not sure. We'll consult we'll consult the community.
Let me just pass it by the board.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so the word faggot, very comfortable with it. And I know a lot of people aren't. But I haven't been called a faggot in the street for a very long time.
Yeah.
The last time was in my hometown, actually.
Really?
Yeah, it was a few years ago now, and I was just walking through my hometown, being fabulous, being myself.
Yeah.
And then this random dude walked past me. I didn't do anything, say anything. Maybe it's just the way I was mincing about, but yeah, just faggot. And it was almost like, who says that anymore?
Yeah, who does
Like,
that? Who does that?
Really? Like,
Yeah.
it was just like, no one's called me a faggot in years.
I hate that. I really hate that. I can't stand it. I can't stand those sort of moments where people feel like it's okay to belittle you on something we cannot change. Something that should be celebrated, not...
Yeah, it's also just like, mind your own fucking business.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I mean, I'm sure if I get to know you, there's certain things in your life that I can comment all about.
Yeah.
First of all, your fucking outfit. You look like shit. It's like the homophobic straight men that like, oh, I'm not gay, so don't hit on me. And I'm like, mate, you're like, I'm sure you're like a straight 7. You're a gay 2. You know, like.
Yeah. It's all like, you know, straight 7 is giving him a lot of leeway.
Yeah,
a lot of leeway
like-
as well. I've had that before where you have like, you know, there was a moment where I've just come back from vacation in Mexico, and there was like this American guy, and he didn't make a gay comment, but he looked at my glass. He was hammered. And he was like spherical as well. And he was wearing this like US like armed air forces unit type t-shirt or something like that. And I'm just a bit like, I know exactly who you are.
Yeah.
It was from like, you know, bumfuck nowhere. And like his comment was, I've never ever seen sunglasses like yours. I was wearing, they were Dolce & Gabbana, the circular ones that, you know, I really like them. I think I look cute in them.
Turning a look.
And I was just like there going, oh thanks. So I got them from the opticians in Stockholm. Maybe Stockholm just has a bit more fashion brands. I don't know.
Yeah.
My coming out story was very different to yours because I rejected the idea that I was gay for a very long time. I rejected a lot of things. I just became very unsexual, very sort of like, this isn't my life. This isn't for me. This isn't my thing.
Yeah.
Always been a late bloomer when it comes to everything. I think I was 16 before I had a wank. Like, do you know what? It was just that immediate discovery. I don't know, because it's just like as kids, you just say shit.
I bet you was backed up. I bet you blew the fucking window planes out.
I had no idea what was going on. All I knew was like
I just have that image, you know, in Scary Movie 2, in the freezer.
Oh my God. Because I was told, like, I had a circumcision when I was like 6 months old. It was like for medical reasons, not for religious reasons. And there was someone at school who just went, oh yeah, if you've been circumcised, you can't wank. And I just believed him.
Oh no.
I know. And that's really sort of like, and now I'm sitting there just going, shows what he fucking knows.
Now you're playing catch
Yeah,
up. Yeah,
now I'm playing catch up. So.
Is that why you're so long in the toilet?
Yeah. That's another story. That's the veganism kicking in. You know, like when most people sit there and say, I'm regular, I have one shit a day. I'm like, I'm number 20.
Mate.
20.
I wake up in the morning, I have a cigarette, a coffee, and it just runs. Like, it's like I need to run to the toilet. I'm like, Marco, get out. Like.
So I didn't come out at all. In fact, like, I did the awful thing. I sort of, you know, thought I'd come out as bi at uni. And there was someone who was quite homophobic. And I decided, let's not do it. So I think I was 23, 24 when I came out. And that took a lot. And that was also when I lost my virginity. I was 24 when I lost my virginity.
Okay.
So late bloomer all the way through and through.
Yeah.
And I do think it was because we weren't taught about being gay at school.
There is that as well.
Yeah.
But like the idea of sex education not including gay sex. And I just feel like that's not really the kind of way to go about it. Gay sex is just sex in general. And it's like, we should, not we, but like people in general should be taught there are safer ways to do it. There are like nowadays is PrEP as well. Like, just certain like things that you should be aware of when you do it. And it should be part of the sex education that is straight sex as well. So I don't know. I did, yeah. I mean, I kind of missed that gap in, but you learn by doing, you know?
Yeah, you do.
You learn on the job.
Learn on the job. Like the first time I had sex, I was bottoming, and I was just like, is this okay? Is this how it's supposed to feel? Is it supposed to... There was that moment where you're just like, am I taking a shit?
Yeah.
And then you realise you're not, and you realise it's actually feeling kind of good, and you're kind of like okay with it. Yeah.
Wow.
And it's sort of like it suddenly all becomes clear, and it all becomes working, and it all becomes fine. And my mum was very much sort of like, you want to have sex with someone that you like, you want to have sex with someone that you can see a future with, that you can see a relationship. I just wanted to have sex. I just wanted to do it.
Like learning sex from porn. Because porn is not realistic.
Porn is not realistic.
And I think, I mean, even in...
It never goes in that fucking easy.
And also, even with the OnlyFans, I mean, that's still edited. And I know the girls like to get it going on OnlyFans. And to be honest, it kind of leaves you open as well to like more predatory kind of men. I know a lot of young gay men go for older men. And then there's like a lot of questionable characters that want younger gay men. Yeah. And I remember like, because when I came out, like,
how old were you? You were like...
I was 14.
Yeah.
I lost my virginity with my best friend. I lost my vagina. Yeah. No, I lost my virginity with my best friend. And it was just awkward, fumbling under the covers, whatever. Yeah. We weren't in I mean, I loved him, but we weren't in love. No. It's not like the whatever.
It was like platonic.
I'm so glad that it was him. Yeah. I did love him, you know. Yeah.
Oh, that's quite sweet.
Yeah, it's very sweet.
Yeah.
We were just like in his bed, like little, you know.
Aww.
Snuck a bear from his mum's fridge and got a little drunk, like very innocent. But then I remember, have you watched a bookshop based in LA? And it's run by this Jewish couple. It's a gay pawn shop.
No, I haven't seen it.
Alaska worked there.
Okay.
And then it's just this kind of like conservative-ish, as much as you can be a conservative running a gay pawn shop. But like it was a weird, like, okay, so this older Jewish couple who've got like kids and stuff, straight couple, run a gay pawn shop. I think it started out as a bookshop. And then their son came out as gay, and then his mother was like kind of gagged by it, like, oh my god, this is not how we do all of that. But then his dad said to him, like, just so you know, men can take advantage of men just as much as men can take advantage of women. Yeah. And like, kind of looking back now, especially when we're talking about like younger gay men and that kind of seedy characters in a gay bar, like are going for him. I'm like, yeah, wish someone told me that. Like,
oh no.
I've got some stories.
And we will get to them all the way through this episode. It's going to be great.
Oh, maybe I'll sprinkle them out. I don't want people to have whatever.
I mean, when I came out, I sort of like, I thought I'm going to tell my mum. My mum was like the most important person. I told 2 friends before that. Yeah. I told my friend Gemma, and I also told my friend Danny, and both of them reacted really well. And I thought, okay, I'm going to tell my mum. I was working in a cafe, and I was like, right, okay. So I got a great recipe for a bolognese. And I thought my idea was, if I get her drunk and full of food, I will be able, my fat self will be able to outrun her. Yeah. That was the idea. Yeah. So I opened the wine, got everything ready, everything fine, and and she's there going, oh, why are you going to all this effort? It's just a Tuesday.
I'm cornering your mum.
Yeah. And then I was just like, and I sort of said, no, I need you. I need to tell you something, and I need you full of food and full of alcohol. And she went, well, I'm on chemo, so I can't have alcohol. And she turned off the gas, turned everything off, and then sort of like sat me down and she went, I know what you're going to tell me. I know what you're going to tell me. And she sort of like took a deep breath and she went, who have you gotten pregnant? I just went, Mum, it's not that. And she was like, no, whatever it is, we can sort it. Yeah.
I'm pregnant.
I'm pregnant. This isn't fat.
We don't have sex segregation.
No. Fuck you, Thatcher.
Yeah.
So there was this whole, and I started laughing and she went, well, what is it? And then I just went, I'm gay. And she just opened her mouth in like shock. Oh. I mean, the writing was on the wall, Gail.
Yeah, you do mince.
Yeah. It was like, this is denial. And she sat there, and there was a moment where she went, I'm surprised, I'm shocked. And she went, I don't love you any less. I love you to the ends of the earth. You are my son, and this doesn't change anything. I just wish you'd have an easier life because it's hard out there being gay. And I said, well, it's hard out there being anybody.
I think,
Yeah.
I'm specifically thinking of, I'm guessing your mum's the same. Your mum would have come in age in the 80s.
Yeah.
So my mum had that kind of affiliation of the gay experience with the 80s. And obviously
Yes.
that's really tied to like AIDS and stuff.
Yes.
So,
That is one of the things she said to me. She was like, you need to be careful of AIDS. And
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
just
yeah.
like there going like, of course I'm going to be careful. She was just like, always wear a condom. And it's like, I'm always going to wear a condom.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then, of course, PrEP came along and that changed everything.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But, you know, it's...
a little bit loosey-goosey now, yeah.
Oh, yeah. After I told my mum, it was really quite easy. I did say to her, it's like, I can't tell Uncle Brian and Auntie Kim. Could you tell them? Because you've got Uncle Brian who grew up in India, Auntie Kim who's Malaysian Chinese, both Catholic, Christian, quite religious, you know, and I just couldn't face it. And she told them, and they were like, oh, wow, we're surprised. We're, you know, shocked. But, you know, that's completely fine. It doesn't change how we feel about him.
And also, one of my friends said to me once, like, if there were gay people 2,000 years ago, or whenever the Bible was written, probably, like before that as well, and there are gay people since then, there are gay people now.
Yeah.
We're gonna be here, honey.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, whether you like it or not.
It's part of the human condition.
Yeah.
It is not something that you learn. It is something that is inherent within the entire animal kingdom. And at the end of the day, once people suddenly start realizing that and realizing that we ain't fucking going anywhere, we ain't changing who we are.
Yeah. And also, like, appreciators. We make things pretty.
Yeah.
We run a tight ship, especially at Sephora. Like, you know, we get shit done.
Yeah, imagine a world without the LGBTQIA.
Yeah.
Honestly. Because the gays design, we make it look pretty.
Yeah.
Can we put up shelves? No, we fucking can't.
No.
That's where the lesbians come in.
There you go.
They've got all the power tools. They know how to do.
When I was at uni, that was my my toast. Cheers to the queers. May we be here for many years. We design your clothes, we cut your hair, and all we ask for in return is you compliment my derriere.
I love it. I love it. Do you know what?
Take a sip. And,
No, do you know what? We should definitely do that at the end of every episode.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I wrote that shit myself.
I do feel like I should caveat this episode heavily with I've got the tail end of a cold.
Yeah.
As I mentioned, Mexico, going from 30 degrees to minus 16 is not doing well for my constitution.
No.
That's the wrong thing to say, isn't it? Fuck's sake, I've done it again.
You're like sat here with the Queen Elizabeth herself. How was one's constitution today? A 40-degree difference, that's going to kick you in the balls no matter what.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely.
I have been in Sweden the whole of winter, all of Christmas, and it's cute because Christmas, it's nice to have a white Christmas, you know? It's nice when it's
Everyone's
snowing.
happy on the 24th. Like, if you go outside, everyone's smiling at you and going like, Sienna, hey. And I'm just sitting there going like, where the fuck were you lot the other 364 days of the year?
Yeah, they're not known for that. But, I am pale white in the throes of seasonal depression.
Yes.
It's not that I am unhappy, I just feel no joy.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that we can do this today.
Yes. This is keeping us going. This is keeping us sane. I definitely feel like this is keeping me sane.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And we've got 2 more months of it. So, well, I've got a trip to London planned, so it's nice to.
Nice. Yeah. We also have Berlin planned. We're going to go see
Berlin.
Yeah.
Giles, Divas.
Fabulous. Who are we going to go see? We're going to see Kim Petras, isn't
Kim
it?
Petras.
Oh my God, I love that.
We have that on the Friday and then a free night on the Sunday. So, I mean, a free night on the Saturday.
Yeah.
So,
Bergheim?
maybe.
Laboratory.
I don't know.
You got a boyfriend.
Yeah, and
I'm in an open relationship.
Yeah,
so I can shag around.
you guys can go together, and I don't know if that's Marco's scene.
No.
But yeah, we'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We talked about me coming out. How was your coming out?
I came out as bi first as well. You know, like dip your toes in and stuff. Came out to my friends first, and that was like, yeah, whatever. I don't actually remember coming out to my sister. It was kind of uneventful, my coming out.
Yeah.
But like, I came out to my mum. Like, I remember I had Will, it was perfect. I had Will and Grace on in the background. My mum was sat on the sofa. I was in the mirror above the fireplace, applying generously chapstick. It was too much. And then my mum went, "Callum, are you gay?"
From chapstick?
From chapstick, yeah.
Was it cherry flavoured?
It must have been a little tinted, like something. And I just went, yeah. And I guess she was just watching Will and Grace and looking at me like, just, you know,
Yeah.
putting on a face. And then
Being
she
Jack.
and she just went, okay, just cool, just wear a condom. So I mean, it was similar. I don't even think about it now.
Yeah.
Like I quite like when like I don't know when the Gen Zers like come out. Yeah, I'm like non-binary, gender fluid, all of that. And
Yeah.
I'm just like, yeah, I'm gay. And then they go, yeah, I get that.
Do you know what? I have that as well. They're sort of like, because we were talking to our friend Nilla, who
Yeah.
describes herself as, I'm a dyke.
Yeah.
That is her description.
Yeah.
And I'm just like there going, like, I love it. Like,
No.
you know, she's, you know, that comfortable in her skin where she's just like there going, like, no, you know, dyke.
Like,
It is all a spectrum. It is all a spectrum. Like, I know people who describe themselves as demi-boy, demi-girl, where they feel a little bit of their gender is fluid to some extent, and, you know, their sexuality is fluid to another extent.
yeah.
And it's fabulous to see that we're now in this space where Gen Z, Gen Alpha are coming out younger.
They really
they're coming
own
out
it.
faster. They're owning it
Yeah.
massively, and they're calling out the boomers and the older generations by sitting
Yeah.
there saying like, "I'm not being funny, but that's not okay.
Yeah.
That's not okay." And then they look at us and go, "Why aren't you saying anything?"
Because it's being updated, but that's because language changes.
Yeah.
It always does.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think I'm a little bit too slow in terms of like what are the new terms, but I also just kind of accept it. Like, it's really not my business what other people.
Yeah.
I just try to understand them as much as I can.
No, and I agree.
Because sometimes people like present a certain way. They identify as non-binary.
Yeah.
So it's very easy. If someone's presenting femme or masc, it's very easy to he, she, them.
Yeah.
Once you get in the flow of it, you're in the flow of it. And most of the time, they're not going to freak out.
No.
Like, as long as you're not being an asshole about it.
Yeah, like one thing I am trying to do is every time I meet someone new, I'm trying to refer to them as they, them, their,
Yeah.
until they tell me otherwise.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I feel like that's always a nicer thing to do. So we were on this TUI flight going out, and the pilot said, "Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls." And I sort of sat there and went, that is so dated now.
Yeah.
And it's like there is something really powerful. They didn't get asked to do this because it used to be on the tube. You used to hear "ladies and gentlemen." And now they say "hello, everyone."
Yeah. 'Cause there's that woman, I don't even know her name. I don't want to know her name, but she's got blonde curly hair, and then she's got t-shirts everywhere. She's got a little podcast, and she's saying that in America, men should go into women's toilet with guns and shit just to like keep
What?
trans women out. So you don't want trans women in the toilet, so you're asking men to go in with guns. Because I'm sure women will feel very comfortable with that.
Exactly. It's just, it's fucking ludicrous. And it's one of those things where it's like, we both live in Sweden. Unisex toilets are a thing in this country.
Yeah.
Unisex toilets are, the difference is with the United States is for some reason, the space above and below, there's like a very small, narrow screen that's keeping your privacy. In Sweden, it is a closed off room. Like you go to Orleans and you go in central Stockholm, you go to Orleans, you go to the toilet level. You have to pay 30 crowns to get in there, which is a rip-off in its own right.
But I do appreciate having an airlocked room,
It's
especially
an
if I'm going to take a
airlocked
big
room.
stinking one.
Yeah. I mean, you know, preaching to the choir, vegan,
Yeah.
20 times a day. I am no stranger to, you know, I will shit wherever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not on the floor.
Not there has been one time. There has been a time. Dan and I were in Sandham, and we were, you know, and I just could not get to a toilet. There was a toilet like 30 minutes walk away, and I was just like there going, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So, you know, I did what any British person would do was I popped out a Tesco bag.
Ooh.
Just so they know they're British.
Oh.
And I dashed it in the bin.
Fuck. Was it plastic?
Yeah.
Oh, even worse.
Why is that even worse?
It's going to be on the planet forever now.
Yeah, but it would have seeped through if it was... No, it's Tesco, so it's biodegradable. It was a newish bag.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad.
Got to keep up with the times, Sam.
I didn't know what else I
Shit
could
in
do.
a paper bag.
Yeah. Not shitting in a paper bag. Fucking vegan.
We'll go to the toilet.
It wasn't a toilet. It was either that or poo in the sea.
Yeah.
I feel really powerful about talking about the gay experience as it exists now for me. One of the best things was last year. And it was you, me, Alex and Dan getting pissed in the park on Longholmen. The dolls getting pissed, you know. And
That was a good day. That was the first day that I broke my arm, didn't I?
Oh,
So that was
yeah.
my coming back out into civilization.
Yeah.
And I was wearing my cute little boots. And then...
You had your bag.
I had my bag slushed in the park.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I had
This is fucking hilarious.
Listeners, if you're drinking wine in the park, take a wine glass. You should not be drinking wine out of a plastic cup.
Out of this shoulder bag.
Yeah.
Not even a shoulder bag. Out of this crossbody bag.
Yeah.
The fact that you just pulled out this wine glass was just hilarity to me. It was the best thing I've ever seen. Like, we all sat there and just went, God, she is just living
Doing the
her
most.
best life.
Yeah.
You know, she's just like, you know, it's like, if there's another way to say you're gay, that's it.
Yeah. I mean, a few years ago, it must have been 10 years ago now, there was like a Twitter thread of Rihanna just leaving hotels, bars, restaurants.
With glass.
With the glass. And just like, why? And like, the thread was like, why is no one stopping her? And I'm like, I would be that queen. Especially in Stockholm, and it's like at least 15, like close to 15 quid sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm going to take this wine glass.
Yeah. I'm going to take this wine glass with me.
Yeah.
But it was so good. And it was just like, you know, and I can remember Dan turning to me and saying, I love my gay life.
Yeah.
Surrounded by my gay friends. We're on our way to a gay bar over to Blue Oyster.
Yeah.
Slightly slutty, slightly, you know, in your face, slightly reading everything to filth.
Yeah.
And just living our best life. And that is just, for me, that is the pinnacle of everything.
I love gay people. I remember when I was younger, I always like, because you get happy gays and you get mean gays. We're definitely the happy gays.
Yeah.
I can be mean, but we're the happy gays.
Yeah.
You're a puppy. You're a puppy.
I am. I'm permanently happy.
I'm a house cat. All I want to do is sleep and be left alone.
Yeah.
But you are a puppy.
Yeah.
For me, when I think about the gay experience now, I mean, it's important to know, like, just be aware of, like, I have a very stable income. I have a very, privileged place where I don't have to worry about an awful lot. And also I live in Sweden. So, like, being gay here is kind of a non-topic.
Yeah.
Like, it's really like, oh, yeah, I'm gay. And they're like, so.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like, there's not so much so that there isn't a gay scene, really. There are a couple of bars, but that's about it.
Yeah.
So, I do think it is nice to form our little gay clique and stuff.
Definitely. And, you know, a wise man once said to me, if you don't go to the gay bar, there will be no gay bar.
If you don't use it, you'll lose it.
Exactly.
So, get yourself in the gay bar.
Yeah.
Even if you don't drink.
Yeah. Just, you know, go for the experience. Go to, you know, have a lime and soda.
Yeah. And I do get it. Like, gay bars, there's a certain kind of culture to it.
Yeah.
It can be really intense.
Yes.
Especially if the music's shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Schlager. I'm
Schlager.
sorry, you know, not to hate on Sweden at all, but Schlager should never exist in any gay space whatsoever. We don't like it. We don't want it. We don't need it.
And for the people that don't know what it is, it's essentially Eurovision, right?
Yeah, it's like, well, no, it's not, because Eurovision has its own sort of like love, its own sort of like niceness. You know, this is sort of like if Americans tried to do Eurovision, that's what it is.
Yeah.
There's always a Katy Perry song.
Euro electronic pop.
Yeah.
But that's what Schlager is, though.
Yeah.
Schlager is. I thought it was the Eurovision.
Oh, is it?
I don't know.
Okay, well
Google it and just put it under.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is Schlager? It's shit.
I think we should have answers on the postcard. If anyone knows the official definition of Schlager, please let us know. I do want to talk about gay sex, coming from a guy who's verse, but also suffers from IBS.
Okay.
It can be problematic. It
Yeah.
can be, you know, sometimes my body just goes, we are closed for business.
Yeah.
We do everything other than that.
But recently, I don't know, maybe it was a couple of years now, but a lot of people are talking about sides.
Yes.
I never really knew that was a viable option for some people.
No, but it is. There's quite a few, like, I'm in a loving, committed relationship, but we are in an open relationship. So
Yeah.
we're kind of exploring other people, and there are rules to how we go about that, how we deal with that. And it's this, I'm reading this new book. I started reading it on holiday called The Ethical Slut.
Yeah, of course, slut. Yeah.
I love it. And it's talking about, you know, how slut is now a positive word.
Yeah.
And I love that because that is exactly how I feel, how I like, you know, how I feel. I love having sex.
I love being a slut.
Yeah, I do. You know, like, what was it? High body count is something that you define yourself.
Yeah.
And you define, I like remaining friends with people.
I remember you were really nervous about, because this is quite new for you, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I was quite nervous about going for the first time. And I was like, you'll be surprised how casual it is.
I know.
Yeah.
And it was just like, and I can remember the first time it was, we refer to him as the German Ted Lasso. And it was one of those things where he said he was a top, and I can remember getting into his hotel room. He was visiting, and we were making out, rubbing each other a little bit, and his dick just kept on getting bigger and bigger and bigger, to the point where I suddenly just went, okay, we're now past the stage where I feel like it's going to go up, and now we're at the stage where just like you're going to split me in two.
Yeah, how long's a piece of string? Shouldn't be that long.
Shouldn't be that long. Shouldn't be that thick. Shouldn't be it was like a burrito. And I was just like, Jesus Christ. And he just laughed and he went, it was fine, because he just sat there and he just went, I don't have any condoms anyway. No. And I'd rather be safe. No. So we basically did everything else. Yeah. And it was great. That was the first time I've ever been spat on. That was the first time.
Oh my God!
I know. That was the first time I've ever been roughed up. I mean, I'm a big guy,
Yeah.
I don't. People try to rough me up, and it just ends up with me just going like. Yeah. And it's just like, oh, okay, I rough you up. That's how it works. Yeah. So like, it was invigorating. It was amazing, and not every experience is a positive experience.
Yeah, of course.
And I think the biggest thing, in 2024, this day and age, the biggest thing is consent.
I mean, it's anything. Like, you need to talk about it before.
Yeah.
You need to communicate what you want.
Yeah. At any point, if you don't feel comfortable, you can stop.
Yeah.
Yeah. You need to be under no illusions that if you don't feel comfortable, it can end.
Yeah, and just, if you're in a pinch, just get it over with, you know, and then get them out. There are certain things you can do.
Yeah.
Just gets them out.
There are certain people that, there are certain people like, I have it's not a spreadsheet.
I am fascinated by this. One of my friends has a list.
Yeah, I have a list.
Yeah. And then bless them. I'm not going to say their name, but it is Man at Bar.
No, mine.
Man at Trey Gordon.
I know every single name. I make sure I get a name because it's it's more personable. And I can remember this. Like I met him twice, and there was a moment where he sort of like turned to me and just went, "You're the first English person I've slept with." And I was like, "Oh, cool."
See, that's when you are carrying your entire country on your shoulders as you're getting fucked.
Yes.
It's like, you want to know, because he's going to go back and tell his friends, English people are amazing in bed because you represent, you know? Because I do that. Oh, like the entire country of Thailand is diamond in bed for me. Yeah.
Honestly, I felt really bad because he then turned to me and just went, "Am I the first French person you've slept with?" And I had to be the guy to sort of like break it to him and just look at him and go, "You are not the first French person called Lucas who I've slept with."
Did you get out of the list?
I did not get out of the list. I just knew.
Out the clipboard. Actually, no. On 2012, on the 28th of August at 2:15. I guess it was a late lunch.
No, but definitely, I was just like, and I felt so bad saying that, like, like, what was it? Not only you're not the first person, but you have the exact same name as the other French person. I did sort of like say, but if it makes you feel better, you are my favourite French person.
Oh, that's good.
And he was like, and he looked and he just went, good.
Yeah. You could also have just said, yes, you are.
I could have done. But, I don't
But you like details.
I don't like details. I like giving details. I like, being that guy.
Yeah. That me and the French have reconciled.
Yes.
Yeah, me and French.
You went to Paris and you loved it.
Yeah, I loved it. They loved me. The last time I went, it was a bit patchy. The trick to the Parisians is like, because they're notoriously rude.
Yeah.
Is to shout at them very loudly in English.
Yeah.
They love it. Because I feel like they think they've met their match. And when I was in Paris, I was saying that because I went on a work trip. So I was saying to my colleagues, that's how you deal with them. And it worked. I was in a department store, and one lady, I was like, "Oh, can I get this in a medium?" I was buying clothes. And she was like, "For you? No, large." And I was like, "Okay, I just need a medium."
Oh my God.
So you gotta say, I love the city. I'm appreciating how beautiful it is, the food, the wine, everything.
Yeah.
But I'm also not the one to be messed with. People from Berlin as well, shout at them very loudly in English, and they'll love it.
Do you know what? I have no problems with Berlin when it comes to sort of like, I will happily talk to anyone in Berlin and it will be fine. With France, I take a very humble step.
Yeah.
She was in the Paris Metro. She was one of the ticket attendants in the Paris Metro. And basically my boyfriend had put his card next to his credit card, which had wiped it clean, and then
Yeah.
it was like problematic, and he hadn't filled out the paperwork on it. You're supposed to write the date that you do it. And she was basically telling him how he completely fucked up
Okay.
and how angry she was that he'd fucked up. And then she goes, "Where are you from?" And I sort of like went to "Je suis désolé, je suis anglais." And she looked and she started laughing and she went, "That is the right attitude to have English. That is the right attitude. And if you have that attitude, you are welcome in Paris."
Another trick of mine is to just lie. Just say. Just say you're from Sweden. Everybody loves Swedes. And technically, when they're like, "Where are you from?" and you say, "I came from Sweden."
Yeah.
My dad's British, that's why I sound like this.
Ah.
The Spanish, they love it. They love it. And then also, no one really speaks Swedish. It
No.
gets a bit awkward if they're like, du pratar svenska? And you're like, oh, fuck. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, we do have a reputation, deservedly so. My
Yeah.
family are Brits abroad. I have gone to Lanzarote with my family, and I was...
Shit-faced.
They were the obnoxiously loud, playing music by
no.
the pool,
Okay.
just really, really drunk. My brother said it's a bit Spanish here, isn't it? We're in Spain. Yeah. And then there was a little Swedish family over, and they were just perfectly polite, reserved. My 3 tricks as being a Brit on holiday: shout very loudly in English, lie about where you come from, and just accept that no one's going to like you anyway. And just be comfortable.
I am the opposite. I am humble as fuck. I don't lie. I tell everyone I'm from the UK, but I always caveat it with like, I live in Sweden. Fuck Brexit.
Yeah.
What did you want to talk about on the gay experience?
Oh, my favourite gay slur.
Favorite gay slurs?
Yeah, because obviously we spoke earlier like faggot. You
Yes.
want to reclaim that word. There is a lot of aggression there.
There is a lot of aggression there. I feel like it's got loads of different things. So, you know, when I
Yeah.
say I've got a bit of baggage, I say I've got a bit of fagage.
Yeah.
Yeah. If someone's gay and Scottish, you know, faggis.
Faggis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got all these different things, you
Yeah.
know. I have fags with my fags. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I'm because obviously in England a fag is a cigarette.
Yeah.
I'm like, let's go out and a chain smoker.
Yeah.
Like if I could have a cigarette in my hand all day, every day, and I know perfectly well it's going to kill me one day, but I just would.
Oh.
And I would, every part of me wants to also quit.
Yeah.
I just don't want to put in any work.
Yep.
So I'll just say very loudly at work, I'm going outside for a fag, and I
Yeah.
can tell people,
Get uncomfortable.
yeah, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, well, it's fine.
Yeah.
My favourite gay slur is puff. And we don't use it enough.
It's adorable.
You puff.
Yeah.
And it just reminds me, maybe it's like kind of the 90s, or like, I don't know, working class. You puff. Oh,
Yeah.
puffed up. Like, this is just, I think it's cute.
Yeah.
It's ephemeral. It's light.
I was watching some footage about Eileen Warner, for America's first female serial killer.
Yeah.
And she said, you know, oh, he's a fucking fag. It's fine. It's of its time. You know, she's dead.
Yeah.
And then there was this, but then
Also a serial killer.
yeah, also a serial killer. And then there was a moment where she sat there and she just went, you know, he's one of those. He's a turnaround.
A turnaround. That's taking me back.
I turned around for that comment.
Yeah, I like a shirt lifter.
Shirt lifter.
Yeah. I think that's funny.
Woofter.
A woofter. That kind of takes me back to the 90s.
Marmite miner.
Marmite miner.
That is a bit.
That
that's
was new for me. I
dark.
like that. Yeah, that has a ring to it.
Yeah.
Marmite miner.
It's a nice bit of alliteration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, maybe we should get t-shirts printed.
I mine Marmite.
Yeah. Veggie.
I can't even say it. Oh yeah, Marmite's vegan.
Yeah. Oh, okay, that's good then.
But like, there's so many different words. There's so many different things, and especially in like different languages. Like I think in South African, it's either muffy or wussy. One of them is derogatory towards women. One of them is derogatory towards gay men. I think it's wussy that is their version of. But you know what? It's fine. I reclaim these words.
It's just like maricon. But a lot of like, did you ever watch Veneno?
No.
So it's about this trans woman in Spain. I think it was in the 80s or the 90s. HBO Max did a series on her, and like a lot of the queens now, they do her look because it's very recognisable. She was a sex worker.
Yeah.
But they reclaim maricon ages ago.
Love that.
But it's kind of like queer. When
Yeah.
I was growing up, if you would be called a queer.
Queer is a slur. Was a slur.
Yeah, hugely so. Like you're queer. Now it's part of everyday vernacular. You know, like
It's celebrated. It's
Yeah.
like I feel like there is.
it's the umbrella term now.
It is the umbrella term. A lot of people who
Boomers hate it.
Yeah, they do.
Boomers
They
hate
do.
it. Yeah.
They're very much like, no, I'm gay. No, I'm a lesbian.
I think everyone's a bit bi.
I
I don't
know.
care what you say. Everyone's at least a little bit bi.
Yeah, there's always going to be one person in the opposite sex or the same sex if you're if you're heterosexual.
Yeah.
Where you sit there and just go, maybe.
Yeah.
Usually
I
it's
don't know.
Pedro Pascal for a lot of straight men. It's quite interesting.
I mean, for me as well.
I've started reading this this other book, which is called What We Lost in the Swamp.
Yeah.
And I might litter throughout, some of our episodes, poems from it, because it's a collection of poems. And it's just beautiful, this whole
Yeah.
idea. And actually, you had a really good analogy. One thing that was like from the book you read, which was Young Mungo.
So like Stuart Douglas, he's the author. I am now a fangirl for this author. I will take my top off for this author.
Nice.
And he was a designer, so I can kind of relate to him. He got pretty high up. I think he was head of design at Banana Republic. And then he came out with his first book, Shuggy Bean, which is equally as good. Young Mungo kind of takes it to a new level though. And like it's the first book that I've ever read that perfectly summarized how I felt as a young teenager. And it's basically, I'm not going to give too much away, but it's set in working class Glasgow in like either the 80s or the 90s. He kind of writes as like in the accent. But then there's also just really small references that I just kind of remember being a kid from a council estate. you know? But there was one moment in England we used to call it a croggy, and that's where you sit on a bike, like two people ride a bike.
Yeah.
Dad on a bike. Like you sit on your friend's riding his bike, so he's working it, and then you're sat on the seat.
Yeah.
So the person who's on the bike is going up and down. Young Mungo slipped his fingers under this guy's jumper, and just slightly touched his skin.
Yeah.
And like he was saying, it probably felt nothing for the guy, but it was absolutely everything for him at that moment, and it was just such a small, like intimate thing.
Yeah.
And I think the reason why like this book particular is like it's not an overwhelming feeling of I'm gonna shout from the rooftop that I like men. It's more it's an intense love for women, but an uncomfortable around other men that speak about them in a certain way.
Yeah.
That like speak about them over sexualized, and it's not like a repulsion, it's just I don't feel that way.
Yeah.
And it's those small moments with other boys your own age, or a small like a man's jawline. You really like that. So you're just kind of figuring it out without screaming from the rooftops about it. And it's very subtle. And it's the first book I've ever read. I'm like, that's exactly how it feels.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Young Mungo's like really, like he loves his mom. Of course he does, like, and it's that kind of young gay men who prefer to be, they're really close with their mom, and so in return, you have friends that are older than you because you don't relate to the boys your own age.
Yeah.
And then you end up being really close to like menopausal women.
Yeah.
Like I was saying earlier, the best people on the planet, in my opinion, gay men and menopausal women.
Love it.
I'll take them any day. A Madonna concert.
Yeah.
One would say.
That was the Madonna concert.
Yeah.
That literally was the Madonna concert. She's menopausal women. Menopausal women, the Huns,
The Huns
and the gays.
and the gays.
I absolutely loved that.
Just so you know, listeners, we have a pot of coffee. It's the second one of the day.
It is the second.
Yeah, we will be going through this. This will be the content.
Yeah.
We have to record this during the daylight. There's only 2 hours of it.
Yeah. It'll get easier in summer.
Yeah.
Yeah. We are thinking of having guests on at some stage.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, some of the episodes will be guests, but you are sitting in for a 10-episode series.
Cheers to the queers. May we be here for many years. We design your clothes, we cut your hair. We do your films, we'll fit that in. And all we ask for in return is that you compliment our derrieres.
Ciao for now.
Bye.
Bye.